Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the class. And we're back into the topic of environment with the motion. This house would encourage people to be vegetarian. Now, I'm sure this topic won't be as popular amongst you guys. I know you all love your hamburgers and your meat, and including myself. Yes, I love to eat meat, but still, I think it's an interesting topic to talk about. It is quite recent. It's really dealing with the environment. So, why don't we dwell into this topic for this week's debate? All right, let's go on with the definition because definition is always important. So definition here, encourage means that you want to persuade someone to do something by giving support and advice. Now, because this is a motion and this is a policy motion, you are expecting that the government should persuade people to become vegetarian, a person who do not eat meat or fish or sometimes other animal products for moral, religious, or health reasons. So what it boils down to today's debate is that you are encouraging people, or you as a government, you're encouraging people to go vegetarian. Maybe it's not as strict, maybe it's not everyday vegetarian, but the whole idea of coming from the government is that people should be stop eating meat and consume more fruits and vegetables in their daily lives. Maybe you can model this idea by saying, okay, we can give tax cuts to restaurants to go vegetarian, or we can subsidize some industries that make fake meat, for example, like Omnipork or Impossible Burgers, where they try to make different proteins of meat by using the plant. So those kind of models you can also think about in today's realm of debate. Now let's look into the whole idea of vegetarianism. So vegetarianism is not something new. Human beings have been practicing vegetarianism for almost 2.3 million years. And this is within the life cycle of human existence on Earth. Now, if we see a lot of times in a long time ago, people were vegetarian maybe for economic reasons because meat was very sparse. But also, there was a lot of religious reasons behind. And most of the major religions like Buddhism or Islam or different sects of religion, even Hinduism, they do not like killing animals, and that's why a lot of them will practice some sort of vegetarianism in their religious act. We also see other major religions like Christianity or Judaism, where you see a areas of the scriptures will show that some people who are really religious would have strict vegetarianism in their diet. So it's not new to any religion, but vegetarianism was very engraved into our religious lives when we look into the historical context. But we also look into modern day. Why do people go vegetarian in modern day lives? It's not just because of religion. People are becoming more vegetarian because of different beliefs or morals, or sometimes it's just purely on a self choice that they want to be healthier, so they go for a vegetarian centered diet. You can also see that these days industries are changing because we consume a lot of hamburgers and people do not want to give up their hamburgers just because they're vegetarian. Places like Omnipork or the Impossible Burgers or whatnot, these companies do make a lot of fake meat, which textures and everything, even like the taste really has this feeling of real meat, but these are plant-based. So we see industry is also evolving to the area of vegetarianism. And why is that? And we want to talk about why this is really the case. And first of all, we want to say that a lot of times people believe that eating too much junk or even a saturated fat in your diet, it builds up, and it builds up to you becoming fat, having cardiovascular disease, or often lead to obesity. And usually if you eat vegetarian, it is lower in cholesterol, lower in fat, and it results into weight loss. So a healthier lifestyle is one of the drivers for people to become vegetarianism. The other part to believe is that it's more on the animal welfare and animal rights, because animals are living beings, very susceptible to pain and emotional feelings as well. And how we raise this animal now is a skyrocketing demand for meat. We are raising the animals with a lot of growth hormones in very inhumane condition, and we also slaughter them using a very inhumane conditions. And that's why when we look at it, we really question fundamentally, is it right to treat the animals that we eat this way? And what kind of adverse health effect we will have when we eat these hormone-filled, a gross hormone-filled meat in our daily lives? There was a big scare as well as a moral question that was behind in the way we kill our animals. And that's why this also fueled a lot of people to become vegetarianism. Sometimes it is also related to environmental concerns, because in order to raise a 1 pound of meat, you need 10 pounds of plant-based produce, meaning that you need to get rid of the farmlands and you need to make a lot of grassland. You need to cut down the trees so that we can graze the cattle, like pork or like pigs or the cows. And also the carbon dioxide that a lot of these cows produce when they are grazing also adds into the global warming and climate changing impacts. And that's why a lot of governments or a lot of people do encourage vegetarianism, is because we cannot sustain this much of meat consumption for the population of the world. And lastly, you can also say that eating a lot of protein based or eating too much meat, it also strips away and it becomes a reason for a lot of people having world hunger. So over 10 pounds of plant protein that could be used to feed people are used to feed animals. And this fuels and it only exacerbates the whole situation of the poorest population on earth to have little or no food. And that's why there are a lot of reasons for us to say, and there's a lot of examples that you can see from the readings, but definitely those are some of the major concerns that we see in the earth today. And that's why people are turning to vegetarianism. But of course, vegetarianism is not always the old solution or t-shirt size solution for every problem that we have. A lot of doctors and nutritionists argue that yes, we believe that it is also good to have a lot of fruits and vegetables, but they're not the only part of our diet. We need dairy products, we need fish, we need protein to grow up healthy and live a healthy life. And that's why if we strip out all the animal protein in our lives, that's not going to be healthy at all. You can also say that, look, it's not just about eating meat, but in general, over farming is the reason why we are having climate changes. Just because you stop eating meat doesn't mean that our earth will all become green and we'll restore all these grasslands. But if we continue to overplant for soybeans or whatnot, then raising a lot of farming of plant-based food crops can also contribute to the global warming effect and the environmental impacts as well. Lastly, a lot of the thing that comes close to people's mind is the choice, the freedom of choice you have. Now, everyone wants to eat healthy, but once in a while, you do want your hamburger, you want your junk food, and so what? So what not? So you can also say it is not right for the government to decide what the people should eat, or that people should not eat meat or should eat less meat in whatever sense that is. It's just really up to the people's choice. So do you agree? Should the government support people to be or go vegetarian? Not even if it's not 100%. Should government at least promote and campaign the life of vegetarianism by giving various incentives like tax or subsidies to people? And that's really the crux of today's debate. Now let's go and look into the arguments that comes out to today's debate. So if you want to be in the pro side today, you want to start off by citing what it is really the role of government. Why is it government's responsibility to encourage people to have a plant-based diet? And the team line here is because it benefits everyone. It benefits the people, it benefits the society, it benefits the whole country, it benefits the planet. The planet will thank you. And that's why it is a good motion to go forward. First argument, you want to say, look, this is really cruel and unethical to kill millions and millions of animals every year for the sake of human taste buds. And that's where, and it is even wrong when we have completely okay vegetarian options, which are alternatives. And that's why it is not a good idea. You can also say a vegetarian diet delivers complete nutrition and can provide health benefits because people need to consume enough fat, oil, as well as protein. These can be delivered by protein-rich foods like soybeans, for example, or fat-rich fruits like avocado, and this can deliver exactly the same effect of eating meat. So it's not just a matter of choice, but having a vegetarian diet also means that you can have a very well-rounded eating habits in your life. You can also, I think the word hunger is cut off, sorry for this, but the third argument you can think of is that, look, if you take a vegetarian diet, it can alleviate world hunger, because think about all those places that we lost and farmers have lost because they had to raise the cattle, the sheep, the cows for the taste buds of people. Then it results in millions and millions of people having no food in their daily lives. So fourth argument here is that, yes, you can also have a healthy weight. We see a lot of obesity problems that are caused and has a toll on the healthcare effect, and especially in the developed first world. The rich nations, they have a problem of too many people getting fat. So if we encourage people, or the government encourage people to be vegetarian, then this problem of obesity can also be gone away. Lastly, you can say going vegetarian saves our environment, and obviously there's a lot of examples that you can see in the reading where we can see environment will thank you by becoming vegetarian. Now, if you're on the con side, on the same motion, you want to say, look, I know the idea of vegetarian can be good or can be bad, and people can practice it. There's no offense against people who do vegetarianism, but as a con side, you want to say, look, this should be really left on an individual's choice level, and it's not something that government should support or encourage. And that's why the team line you see here is that encouraging vegetarianism does not help anything. It actually harms. It's not really good for the government to promote such idea as a collective good. The first argument you can think of here is that eating meat is not really unethical. It's natural part of cycle of life. People have been eating meat for millions of years. And why do you want to stop it now? It's a natural part of a life cycle. And also, we can say that, look, there are a lot of ethical ways to kill the animal. So it's not, if you are so concerned about growth hormones or how we raise the animal, it is the role of the government to make sure these animals are raised ethically and killed ethically, instead of asking people to go vegetarian. Also, you can also say that meat is needed for healthy living. Again, it's really a no-brainer, but you need a healthy amount of protein in your life, and protein can be achieved by eating meat, and it is easily achieved by eating meat, and that's why it is needed for healthy living, especially for children when their brains are growing. Thirdly, you can say becoming vegetarian will not help alleviate world hunger, because the world hunger is not just about people eating meat, but it's just about distribution. Because we see in a lot of rich nations, they throw away food, so many food, millions and millions of kilograms of food is ended up in landfills and waste and trash. It's because people buy too much, buy more than what they can eat. So it's just because people turn vegetarian, it doesn't mean that automatically people will become, or the plant will become, the whole hunger will become alleviated, or meaning it will be resolved. People will still be hungry, because it's just a matter of distribution, that poor countries, they just don't produce enough food. And if we can distribute or share all the wasted food that is coming from a developed world, and this will be more of a solution for the world hunger. Fourthly, you can say that vegetarian diets are not necessarily better for the environment, and there's a lot of counter arguments that you can read from the reading. But yes, equally, vegetarian or plant-based diet can equally harm the environment. And lastly, I think this is also very important for Kansai to point it out. But look, the right to eat what you want, including meat, is a fundamental liberty that we must defend in a democratic world. So giving the choice of what the government telling people to eat is not going to really help in this situation. So I think there are really good arguments coming from both pro and con. I didn't go through a lot of examples in this video, but in the readings that I will be giving out, there's a lot of examples that you can use to support your arguments of why this is generally a better choice. So what I would like to say is that make sure you read the reading, and I'll see you in debate. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.